Hello everyone, this is Dr. Carolyn Maria, working as an assistant professor in Loyola College of Education, Chennai. The title of the course is Environmental Education, in which we are going to learn Unit 4 Environmental Problems. The major environmental problems like global warming, greenhouse effect, climate change, ozone layer depletion, acid rain, extinction of flora and fauna are going to be learned in this video lecture. Before learning what is global warming, let's first learn what is greenhouse effect. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been to any hilly region? Have you ever seen a glass house in which plants are kept? You could see in this picture the glass house, the plants are kept, and from sun the glass receives the solar radiation, and from the room the radiation is re-emitted back to the space. But the tendency of the glass is to absorb the solar energy and to provide warmth to the plants within the room and avoiding re-radiation of solar energy back to the space. The same thing happens in our Mother Earth also. We are provided with, the Mother Earth is provided with a layer of gases called as greenhouse gases, in which you could see the greenhouse gases are serving like a sort of the glass house in the greenhouse. So these greenhouse gases protects the Mother Earth by absorbing the solar energy as well as preventing the solar energy back to the space, by which they are providing warmth to the Mother Earth. Without the greenhouse gases, we cannot survive because the earth will have very low temperature and we all will be frozen. So the greenhouse effect is absorbing solar energy and preventing the re-radiation of the solar energy. Providing warmth is what called as greenhouse effect. As it is done in the glass house in the hilly region, same thing happens with the help of the greenhouse gases which are providing the warmth for the Mother Earth. We are receiving the ultraviolet radiation from sun and we re-emit back as infrared rays. Let me give you another example. For example, on a hot summer day, you are traveling in your car. Unfortunately, your petrol dries up and your AC is also not working in the car. So you just park the car on road in a hot sun. Can you be there within the car at least for 5 minutes or even for 10 minutes with all the doors and windows closed? Is it possible? You feel very suffocated. You feel a lot of warmth inside because the tendency of the glass is to trap the solar energy and provide it within the car, and re-radiation back is being prevented by the glass. This particular effect or this process is called as greenhouse effect. The human beings, because of all the unmindful human activities, we keep increasing the level of the greenhouse gases. You could see here the greenhouse gases were little at the time of the world creation. Because of the unmindful human activities, we keep increasing the level of the greenhouse gases, and now the greenhouse gases have become a thick blanket. So re-radiation back is must prevented over here. So the solar energy is trapped by the greenhouse gases and it is providing to the Mother Earth, and re-radiation from the Mother Earth to the space is prevented because of the enhanced greenhouse effect. So the atmosphere in the air around the surface of the air is called as greenhouse gases, and it is made of mixture of gases. We need it for the plants as well as even the animals to survive because greenhouse gases are the ones which are providing the warmth for the Mother Earth. Otherwise, all the living organisms will be frozen. So these greenhouse gases are serving like a blanket, trapping the heat and they are providing to the Mother Earth. These greenhouse gases include carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, water vapor, etc. And this process is general, which is called as natural greenhouse effect. And natural greenhouse effect is essential in order to provide warmth for the Mother Earth. Then, because of the human activities, we have increased the level of the greenhouse gases. You could see over here, the red color is the normal natural effect of the greenhouse gases. Here you could see the enhanced greenhouse gases because of the human activities of burning the fossil fuel, deforestation, then cutting down trees, population explosion. Because of all this, greenhouse gases have increased, and that is serving as a blanket, and re-radiation of solar energy from the earth to the space is prevented, and it is more remitted to once again to the Mother Earth. And that is why an average increase in the temperature of the Mother Earth is increased. That is what is called as global warming. So global warming is enhanced greenhouse effect and not the natural greenhouse effect. Natural greenhouse effect is essential to provide warmth to the Mother Earth. Enhanced greenhouse effect is even otherwise called as global warming. So the sun sends out energy as heat and light, and this energy comes to the earth during the daytime, and some sun rays get trapped in the atmosphere, and some of them get reflected back into the space, and the ones which get into the atmosphere and which are trapped by the greenhouse gases are giving the warmth to the earth. Some of the heat going out is being trapped by the atmosphere. This is what makes our planet Earth to become warm to live on. But if too much of heat is trapped, our planet will warm up and the climate will change. An average increase in the temperature of the Earth is called as global warming. Human beings are the ones who are increasing the carbon dioxide level by burning of fossil fuel, deforestation. Methane is also produced because of the burning of garbage and on. Because of all this, we are increasing the level of the greenhouse gases. You could see in this picture, because of all the human activities of deforestation, using refrigerators, car, burning all the fossil fuel, and because of all this human activities, greenhouse gases are increased, and that is preventing the re-radiation back to the space, and it is providing the re-radiation within the Mother Earth. That is why actually the average temperature of the Mother Earth is being increased. So the amount of methane in the atmosphere is increased by 2.5 times since the Industrial Revolution. What are the effects of global warming? Global warming can result in many serious alterations in the environment, eventually impacting on human health, and a rise in the sea level that will lead to the loss of coastal land, a change in the precipitation pattern, that is rain pattern, increased risk in the drought as well as flood, and it is a threat for the biodiversity. How are we going to control the global warming? Preserve existing forest and encourage reforestation. Wherever we have cut down the tree, we have to plant the tree 2 times or 3 times better. Develop alternative energy resources instead of simply depending upon the fossil fuel. Slow the population growth. Encourage the environmental treaties and laws, and more efficient way of energy usage. Let's now learn what is ozone layer depletion. We do come across with different layers of atmosphere, starting from troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, exosphere, and ionosphere. Ozone layer is a layer of gas consisting of O3 molecules, that is called as ozone, that forms when free oxygen molecules bond to O2 molecules, and this ozone layer sits in the stratosphere between 15 kilometers above the earth. The ozone layer shields us with the other living organisms from the Earth's harmful ultraviolet radiation. Ozone layer depletion could have serious effects of human health as well as even environment. Oxygen is O2. When oxygen come across with sunlight, the oxygen molecule is broken down into O plus O. Then this O is unstable in nature. Then it will go and join with another O2 and they form O3, that is ozone. This is normal general process. Every microsecond it happens. That is how ozone layer is built up. Ozone layer is building up only because of the sunlight breaking down the oxygen molecule into O plus O, and this O is unstable in nature, so it goes and joins with O2 and forms O3 as ozone. Now, how come the ozone layer is being depleted? Ozone layer depletion is defined as the gradual thinning of the ozone layer present in the lower portion of the Earth's atmosphere. And we are using the refrigerator, air conditioner and all where this chlorofluorocarbon is emitted. The CFC, chlorofluorocarbon, are broken up by the ultraviolet radiation. Once again, the ultraviolet radiation will break up the CFC. And once the chlorine is released, it reacts with the ozone and it forms the chlorine monoxide. You could see CFC, it is being broken by the ultraviolet radiation, and from the CFC, the chlorine comes and joins with this O3 and it breaks the O3 into O2 plus O. You could see chlorine plus O3, it will develop as chlorine monoxide plus oxygen. Then once again, this chlorine monoxide also unstable in nature, it will go and again break the O3. When one molecule of chlorine monoxide meets the oxygen atom, it breaks up and releases the chlorine, and the ClO plus O gives chlorine plus oxygen. So the free radical of the chlorine again reacts with the another ozone molecule and it destroys the structure, thus producing the catalytic cycle of the chlorine. Based on the Environmental Protection Agency report, one chlorine atom can destroy more than 1 million ozone molecules. So imagine how much of ozone is being destroyed by this chlorofluorocarbon or CFC, which we are using in our refrigerator and air conditioner. What are the harmful effects of ozone layer depletion? If ozone layer is completely depleted, human beings will get directly exposed to the intense ultraviolet radiation from the sun because these UV rays are being released from the sun and ozone layer is protecting us from the UV rays. Overexposure to UV rays is responsible for skin cancer, cataracts in eyes, sunburn, immune deficiency disorders, rapid aging, etc., causing a reduction in the growth rate, flowering, as well as photosynthesis in the plants. UV light for an extended period can cause skin and eye cancer, threat to marine life. Severe reproductive defects are found in the fishes, thus decreasing their population, causing chemical degradation. Man-made chemicals such as plastic, wood, fabrics, rubber get hugely degraded on the exposure of UV light. What are the control measures of ozone layer depletion? Replacing the halon-based fire extinguisher with other foam-based forms, discouraging to buy refrigerator and air conditioner that use CFC as the refrigerant, servicing all electrical equipments like air conditioner and air coolers, which reduces the release of CFC, discouraging the use of cleaning solvents containing CFC or ammonia and encouraging natural and eco-friendly cleaning products, minimizing the use of personal vehicle and using the public transport to reduce greenhouse gases that deplete the ozone layer, prohibiting the use of air pollutants such as nitrous oxide that decompose the ozone into nitrogen dioxide and oxygen gas. Avoid the use of fossil fuel and increase the dependence of renewable energy resources. What is acid rain? Acid rain or acid deposition is a broad term that includes any form of precipitation with acidic components such as sulfuric and nitric acid that fall to the ground in a diluted form to the atmosphere, which wet or dry forms. This can include rain, snow, fog, hail, or even the dust that is acidic. You could see because of the burning of fossil fuel, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, methane, all these gases will go and they all join together in the clouds and they come down as acid rain in a diluted form of sulfuric acid and nitric acid. What are the causes of acid rain? Acid rain results when sulfuric acid and nitric acid are emitted in the atmosphere and transported by the wind and air currents. The sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide react with water, oxygen, and other chemicals to form sulfuric and nitric acids. These then mix with the water and other materials before falling into the ground. The major sources of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide in the atmosphere are burning of fossil fuel to generate electricity, two-thirds of the sulfuric acid and one-fourth of the nitrous acid in the atmosphere come from the electric power generators, vehicles and heavy equipments, as well as manufacturing and oil refineries and other industries also produce the gases which cause the acid rain. What are the effects of acid rain? Dead or dying trees are common site of the acid rain, and acid rain causes a lot of erosion in all the monuments. And acid rain also removes the minerals, nutrients from the soil, and the acidic particles corrode the metal and cause paint as well as stone to deteriorate more quickly. And it is difficult to see through because of the acid rain, and it affects the lungs, heart function, and it leads to breathing problem. And the monument like Taj Mahal, because of the acid rain, it changes its color from pure white to little yellowish. What are the control measures of acid rain? We can use clean combustion technologies using pollution control equipments, replacement of coal by natural gas or renewable energy resources, liming the lake and soil so that when acid falls down as a precipitation, it will become neutral because of the base there by liming process. And formulate the policy of framework for reduction of sulfur dioxide and other acid rain causes causing gas emissions. Support a set of sub-projects that promote the cleaner production and reduce the acid rain, air pollution and improve the environment. What is climate change? Climate change refers to a long-term shift in the temperature and weather patterns. We were having seasons, summer, winter, autumn, spring and all that. But nowadays we are not having those seasons. That is due to the climate change. These shifts may be natural, but since 1800s, human activities have been main driver for the climate change. So from 18th century, we are the reason for the climate change. Primarily due to the burning of fossil fuel, coal, petrol, diesel, which produce the heat trapping gases. What are the effects of climate change? It changes the rain pattern and it changes the animal migration and an animal life cycle and high temperature because of climate change. It gives more heat waves and more drought as well as wildlife and less snow and ice, and it changes in the plant life cycle also and raising the sea level as well as it is damaging the coral reef, and the ocean is warmer, and because of the climate change the coastal areas may be submerged. What are the effects of climate change? The cost of adapting the coastal areas because of the climate change and the sea level increases and the coastal areas will submerge, and loss of capacity to work due to the heat and more war to gain the natural resources. Fresh water will become shortage and relocation to the whole town. When we are having hotter cities, we would tend to move to the hilly region, and shrinking in the productivity of the harvest and price of the foodstuff also, as well as even the hilly region areas, the land area cost also will increase, and extreme meteorological phenomena will cause the widespread poverty, and diseases also will spread because of the climate change. What are the control measures? We could take a commitment. The current climate change crisis requires the people to go for a political action to take a commitment to save nature and follow healthy habit by walking, riding a bicycle, healthy eating, by which we can reduce the climate change. And participation is essential. Each country should come forward to participate in the environment protection activities to maintain the sustainability. Then environmental awareness should be massively created using the social media and other media resources to make the people become mindful of climate change, and efficiency and innovation with regard to usage of all the energy resources. What is extinction of flora and fauna? Extinction of a particular animal or plant species occurs when there are no more individual and that species alive anywhere in the world. That is what is called as extinction of flora and fauna. Flora relates to the plant and fauna relates to the animal. What are the causes of extinction of flora and fauna? Many factors are responsible for the depletion of flora and fauna, especially the population explosion, hunting, forest fire, expansion of agriculture, extensive use of fossil fuels, destruction of the natural habitat, climate change, pollution, disaster, deforestation, and many more. What are the control measures for extinction of flora and fauna? Learn about the endangered species in your area. Visit a national wildlife refuge, park, or other open space. Make your home wildlife friendly by giving some sort of donation to the wildlife. Native plants provide food and shelter for native wildlife. Herbicides, pesticides may keep yards looking nice, but they are in fact hazardous pollutants and that affect the wildlife at many times. Slow down when driving nearby the forest area. Recycle and buy sustainable products. Never purchase the products made from threatened or endangered species. Harassing the wildlife is cruel as well as illegal. Kindly avoid it and protect the wildlife habitat. Let me give some takeaway messages from this video lecture. Come forward to reduce environmental issues. Take initiatives to reduce consumption of fossil fuel. Use all the natural resources sparingly and judiciously, having a consideration for the usage of future generation. Points to reflect are: suggest any two measures to reduce greenhouse effect. Reflect on life in 2050 with dried out fossil fuel and the natural resources and act accordingly. These are some of the suggested reading for your further clarification. Thank you for listening. Wish you all good luck.